Hello and welcome back to AniWatch. Today we will recap a 2021 fantasy action anime called Full Dive. It is adapted from a light novel. The story revolves around Yuki Hiroshi, who plays a virtual game that is lifelike and goes through all kinds of emotions as it becomes his reality. Spoiler ahead. Are you ready? Here we go. VRMMO RPGs or virtual reality games have advanced to unprecedented levels of complexity in Japan, where NPCs or users behave much like real people, and players may interact with the game using all 5 senses. Hiroshi Yuuki lacks the funds to purchase finalizing Quest 12, the most recent book in the series, so he visits a local shop in an effort to secure a better deal. Reona Kisaragi, the manager, convinces him into purchasing the 10-year-old game Kiwame Quest by highlighting its higher-than-usual rating. He is astounded by how realistic the environment appears when he plays the game as Hiro. His first goal is to leave Ted, a starter city, in order to reach Flora Castle, but Alicia and Martin, NPCs from his childhood buddy group, warn him that leaving the city is forbidden and make an effort to convince him not to leave. Hiro kills Martin by mistake after becoming enraged when Martin hits him, and he genuinely feels the guilt. He runs out into the city after Alicia goes mad because of the incident with Martin and encounters Reona there while pretending to be a fairy. Reona is surprised to learn that by gaining the title Best Friend Killer, he has already damaged his prospects of becoming the hero. Reona says the game was made to be completely realistic, and so there is no turning back for Hiro. Reona advises Hiro to seek assistance from Genji, a player who also murdered his NPC closest buddy Enrique. Hiro understands that being a killer has negative effects on games. Reona says that because Martin was slain, there is no way to make Alicia a permanent partner. Alicia is a proficient knife user and is a great user to be a team member. Hiro is able to log out when Reona, who is invisible to NPCs, assaults Alicia's eyes as she attacks him. Takafumi, a buddy of Hiro's from school, tells him that if he quits playing video games, the bullies might leave him alone. When Hiro logs back in, he meets Genji, a middle-aged drinker who confesses that he killed his best friends despite not knowing his acts were irrevocable. It has been 10 years of playtime, he still hasn't succeeded. He advises Hiro to take up martial arts in the real world as their characters are based on their actual bodies. He also informs him about Kamui, the only player to win the game. Then, stating that doing so will be helpful, Genji strips Hiro of his disguise, revealing him as the killer. Genji warns Hiro that if he ever admits to killing Martin, he will actually be sentenced to prison time. Hiro is in jail when Martin's spirit chooses to haunt him until he recalls their unremembered childhood vow. Hiro understands that Genji is also plagued by his greatest pals. Then, a woman by the name of Misarisa comes to get Hiro. He agrees to the game's warning that he is about to engage in intense stimulation, believing that he and Misarisa would engage in sexual activity before realizing that she is actually the town inquisitor. She says that while he would be released if he made a confession, doing so would result in his imprisonment. When Reona appears, she tells him he must put up with the pain if he doesn't want to be viewed as a murderer for the duration of the game. The agony abruptly comes to an end as Misarisa is about to amputate his legs and limbs. Reona investigates Hiro's title and discovers that by mistakenly wetting himself in terror, Hiro unlocked a previously undiscovered skill and plot that prevents the torment. Reona is overjoyed, but Hiro fiercely exits the game and vows never to play it again. Hiro recalls his first race in high school, when he fell and unintentionally peed himself. Olympic medalist Mike McLaughlin pointed out his lack of mental fortitude. Hiro abandoned the track team as a result, which made him the victim of bullying. His sister criticizes him for abandoning the game when it got too challenging. He returns the game to Reona's store after bullies steal his money once more. She does, however, tell him about Shishir Kamui, a politician in the area who credited his own success to the lessons he learned from winning the game. She then gives Hiro a tour that Kamui made, but nobody utilized it since Kamui was so rude. Hiro discovers that he must defeat Alicia without engaging in physical combat, obtain a sword, permit Martin to haunt him, and start gathering supplies because stores in the games have a tendency to run out of essential supplies. Hiro is encouraged to keep playing the game by Reona, who promises to marry him if he succeeds. Hiro decides to play out the confusing storyline after logging back in, but Misarisa declares Hiro to be her favorite victim ever and plans to torment him once again. Hiro is freed when Martin's death is deemed to have been an unfortunate accident, according to Tesla, captain of the city guard. Unfortunately, Alicia still seeks retribution and the villagers continue to hold him responsible because of realism. Hiro begs Genji for a loan since he needs money to buy necessities. Hiro loses his cool when Genji declines. Then Martin's ghost shows up to remind Hiro of what occurred the last time he lost his temper. Although Hiro is unable to see or hear them, the spirits of Genji's childhood companions also appear to communicate with him. Genji is persuaded by Reona that the conflict was a duel. As a result, he turns over his wealth, changing Hiro's status regrettably. Hiro goes to an item shop managed by Melissa after deciding he needs smoke bombs to protect against Alicia, only to discover that he is still being billed excessive costs. He tries to collect the sword with which he should have begun the game but finds Alicia waiting. Hiro attempts to use a smoke bomb but forgets that owing to the realism he must first light the fuse. Alicia attempts to murder him but he is spared by Misariza, who refuses to allow Alicia to murder her favorite victim. Alicia outperforms expectations by knocking Misariza senseless. Hiro gropes her breasts, remembering he is intended to overcome Alicia without fighting. But owing to the realism, she reacts like a real woman and gets enraged. Hiro makes a love confession after Martin's spirit arrives to help Alicia murder him. Alicia, his childhood friend, discloses her turmoil and flees. Hiro understands Alicia is unaware she is a game character and believes he is her beloved childhood buddy. And despite the fact that Martin's death was an accident, he fled like a coward rather than mourn with her. Hiro wants Martin to continue haunting him after realizing the purpose of Kamui's walkthrough, which unlocks one of his character's early memories. Martin forgives Hiro and departs to the afterlife after learning that his boyhood vow was that he and Martin would remain friends forever. When Hiro's title is changed to something slightly better, Reona feels he will once again have the opportunity to become the hero, beginning with repairing his rusted sword. They suddenly realize that the city is on fire, something Reona has never seen before. The blacksmith informs Hiro that goblins are attacking. Reona informs Hiro that goblins are extremely powerful and that if he dies, his gaming console would be permanently shut down as a realism punishment. When Hiro asks if any of the players have ever fought a goblin, Reona reveals that Kamui has, along with a boxing champion. The champion openly claimed fighting a goblin was more difficult than defeating a real-life human opponent. Hiro instructs Reona to distract a goblin in order to save a little female NPC who resembles his sister. Hiro acquires a super speed talent based on his real-life running abilities and saves her when the goblin almost kills her. Tesla then appears and kills the goblins, showing to Reona that he is one of the game's toughest NPCs. Hiro is outraged when he realizes that saving the girl has added Lolita complex to his title. Hiro accepts Tesla's offer to join the city guard as a mercenary before signing out. Later, while watching Kamui's guide, Hiro discovers that doing so is the worst option in-game because the survival rate is only 0.1%. Hiro discovers that by keeping his childhood pledge and overcoming Alicia without fighting, he has a 0.5% chance of survival, but only if he overcomes Tesla's tough 5-day training and survives the second goblin onslaught. Hiro then assures Kaede that he is not resigning and will remain in the game for 5 days. When he returns, Tesla presents Hiro to Queen Govern, the city's enthusiastic ruler. Hiro eventually meets Granada and Palu, two mercenary recruits like himself, as well as Kathy and Bob, troops who assist trained recruits. Amos, the soldier who first arrested him for Martin's murder, is his primary trainer. Hiro loses terribly against Amos and discovers that like his physical body, he has no fighting aptitude. Hence, he is shunned. Hiro oversleeps and arrives late for his second day of practice, so Amos assigns him to practice alone. Hiro is mocked by Granada and Palu for being a buddy murderer and a poor soldier, but Kathy agrees to train with him and teach him the fundamentals. Hiro is defeated in a duel on the third day by Granada, who, together with Palu, continues to ridicule him. Hiro notices how similar they are to his real-life bullies. Reona refers to Hiro to the city guard's counselor for help with his sadness, but the counselor blames Hiro for his lack of fighting abilities. When Kathy proposes that Hiro pray for wisdom, all that occurs is that a nun douses him in holy water. Palu severely beats him on a day 4 and tells Kathy that if she is Hiro's buddy, he and Granada would attack her as well, so Kathy rejects Hiro. The next day, Granada is so brutally pranked that he quits. Tesla subsequently shows up with a letter purportedly from Palu alleging Amos was behind the pranks. Tesla demands to know what has been happening. Kathy reveals that bullying Hiro suffered and how Amos, the recruits, and herself did nothing to stop it. As a result, Amos is fired by Tesla, and Kathy and the recruits apologize to Hiro. That night, Reona admits to Hiro that the pranks were her idea, causing his title to alter as if it were his fault. Despite his poor training, Hiro vows to repel the second goblin attack, even if it means destroying his console. Reona decides to tell the genuine reason she wants him to stay playing as a reward for his bravery. Reona admits that Kamui previously rejected her in-game because her breasts were too large, so she vowed to marry someone who finished the game as petty payback. Hiro logs out and discovers Kaede is becoming increasingly concerned about him. After seeing the guide, Kamui advises Hiro to quit depending on it and instead fight. Tesla says that Granada and Palu have been replaced by Misariza and Alicia and assigns them to guard the evacuated city with Hiro. Alicia and Mizariza catch a thief who says that a criminal lord instructed the thieves to steal as much as they could before the goblins arrived. Infiltrating the criminals' headquarters, they discover Genji is the boss. Genji's selfishness irritates Hiro, so he insists on battling him alone, but Alicia ends up winning to save time. Genji is impressed by Alicia and has some guilt over killing both of his boyhood pals, but he is glad to be going to jail because cells there are safe from assault. Despite having previously used the restroom, Hiro had to go again as the goblins attacked. A goblin confronts an unprepared Hiro as he is in the restroom. After beheading the goblin, Mizariza invites Hiro on a date. Hiro is able to flee when Alicia interrupts them, but he must use the restroom once more. He tells Reona what occurred when she inquires about his story. He becomes upset when Reona teases him about it, which ends his stomach discomfort but modifies his title to reflect his restroom usage. Hiro believes that the Goblin King One Eye is the cause of the mission's 0.1% survival rate as he infiltrates Queen Govern's palace. To divert One Eye, Tesla brings in 3 kidnapped goblins. Hiro deduces from various hints that they have been kidnapped for a considerable amount of time. Tesla confesses he caught the goblins 7 years ago and that One Eye was their father, as he murders One Eye. When Govern finally shows there, they explain that goblins are genuinely wise and friendly, but dangerous when furious. As a result, they made use of that to their advantage to frighten individuals away from leaving and entering TED, enabling them to control the city unopposed. Hiro realizes Tesla is the real final boss he must battle when Tesla kills his guys to conceal the truth. After deciding to pardon Hiro, Alicia stands up for him and is slain. Then Hiro defeats Tesla by using his speed ability to protect. Kamui's walkthrough reveals that the player's intense feelings can briefly undermine reality. Hiro outwits Tesla and stabs him, but his sword breaks. Hiro's spirit travels to Martin, who promises to help Hiro, just as Tesla is about to attack. When Hiro arrives home, he discovers that his shattered sword has been transformed into a weapon that kills closest friends by curse. When Hiro is ready to murder Tesla, Govern accidentally bumps him from behind, allowing Tesla to kill him and take out his console. Hiro then forgets about the Govern and wakes up in his room. Hiro, who is depressed, discovers a new portion of Kamui's manual that tells him how to continue the game 1 hour before his passing. Hiro makes the decision to spend a whole month getting ready, starts working out, gets over his despair, gets closer to his sister, and even unintentionally confronts his bullies. Hiro finds solace in the knowledge that Kamui experienced the same thing. A month later, Hiro returns to the game after Reona lends him a new console. If you enjoyed this recap, check out the recaps and drop your thoughts in the comments section below. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more anime recaps. Turn on the bell notification for future uploads. Thanks for watching.